What's up, guys, and welcome to my top 10 least favorite films of 2016. I just posted my top 10 best films of 2016 in the video. I'm joined by Chancey Bradley, so if you want to check that out, you can. I was supposed to post it yesterday, but it was a little longer than I expected the video was. And it just took some more time, and YouTube actually froze twice during the upload process. So I had to upload it when I woke up today. So that's up now, so you're getting 2 videos in one day, 2 posts, 2 top 10 lists. So, you know, this is really going to be painful to talk about some of these movies, but hey, we're going to do it. And I have some honorable mentions, or should I say dishonorable mentions, for the worst movie, for the top 10 worst movies of 2016. These few just missed the list. These movies are not very good, in my humble opinion. One of these films, I'll warn you now, before I give you my dishonorable mentions, before you jump in the comment section trying to kill me, Arrival is in this list. Arrival is it's in the dishonorable mentions. For me personally, before I tell you the rest, for me personally, I think that the first 2 acts of this film had me so engaged, really, and I was very interested in what was happening. It's like somebody was building a nice cake, you know, a nice birthday cake. It was being built. And all of a sudden, when the 3rd act begins to happen, and you start, they try to tell you what's happening in the film. This is the twist that everybody is captivated by, and everybody loves. But I don't think, for me personally, I might be the only person that actually hated the twist. I think they tried to get so artsy with it, and it didn't work. It didn't pay off. It took some of the realistic factor that the first 2 acts of the film had, and it twisted, and to me, I thought it was a joke, and I thought it was really ridiculous, and it literally turned me off to the first 2 acts of the film. I had a reaction after I saw this movie. I was actually physically shaking after it ended. I hated it. I didn't like it, and I apologize. But let's continue. So my honorable mentions, or dishonorable mentions, for the top 10 worst movies of 2016 are Alice Through the Looking Glass, Arrival, Dirty Grandpa, The Huntsman, Winter's War, Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, Shut In, Suicide Squad, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. So that's the ones that I wanted to put on the top 10 worst, but there were 10 films that were just really horrible that I'm going to talk to you about now. So my 10th least favorite film of 2016 is, you know, this movie, I went into it not expecting anything, and I didn't get anything. I just got a bunch of mumbo-jumbo of a story that these people, they think you care. You know, they think you care about what's happening, they think you care about the plot, and they think you care about the characters, so they continue making these movies. I don't care how many books there are. The Divergent series, Allegiant. Nobody cares. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want any part of these movies anymore. I think that they're changing it. I think they're doing a TV movie now for the last one, or something like that. Good. I'm probably not even going to watch it, because I don't care about the story. I don't care about what happens. It's drawn out. It's horrible. The CG is not very good, and it's just not very good. So moving on to number 9. You know, I went into this film expecting something that I might be leaving and saying, wow, that was good, that was entertaining, better than the original. And that's Blair Witch. This movie to me was a waste of film. It had such potential, but just the stupidity of these characters in this movie, the stupidity of the characters that make stupid decisions, just the editing, the sound editing. A girl breaks her foot or something, or no, she doesn't break her foot. She gets like a cut on her foot, or something like that. She steps on something, her foot starts bleeding. And every time that the film wants you to remember and wants to acknowledge her foot being in pain, they would put in sound effects of cracking bones. And it really was just kind of ridiculous. I didn't care about the whole aspect, the paranormal aspect of the Blair Witch herself aspect of the movie. It was stupid. I feel like it was like a big giant walking around the forest half the time, because that's what it sounded like. Didn't care for it. This movie, it sucks. And I'm glad I don't have to talk about it again after this. So, moving on to number 8. Now, this is a film that I didn't review. I didn't see it in the theater. But as I had been saying throughout the year, I'll be picking up movies on Blu-ray and I'll watch them and I'll catch up on them. And we'll see how it pans out. And this one, number 8, is The Fifth Wave. This movie is... It's absolute horse crap, but let me tell you why. So when you start watching the film, it's kind of engaging. You know, the opening sequence of the movie. Oh, this is interesting. What's going to happen next? But then it spirals off into this predictable kind of mess. A shoehorned in love story. There might have even have been a three-way love story in this one. I don't even remember, to be honest with you. All I could remember mainly about this movie, the thing that stuck with me the most, was the horrible PlayStation 1 graphics when they decide to put on these masks and you see who is an alien or whatever the case is. It's like a green little head inside of a box that would just jump around the screen, and it was cringeworthy and it was horrible, and I can't take it anymore. So yeah, let's stop talking about that. Number 7. This is yet another film that I didn't review on the channel because same situation with The Fifth Wave. I didn't see it in the theater. I picked it up and I watched it, and it's a waste of my money. I wasted a lot of money on these Blu-rays that I'm selling off. I think my friend is going to take some of them or something. But this one, Independence Day Resurgence, listen, I never saw the first Independence Day. I'm not going to lie to you. I never saw it. I just went into this film wanting a good kind of action film, a good sci-fi film, a fun movie. And what I got was pretty much a bore fest throughout the whole entire thing. When there is action and all the CGI crap on the screen, you don't care because you don't care about the characters. You don't care about the situation. This movie's so poorly written. It's so poorly acted. The characters are all over the place. You have so many things happening, and it's a mess, and it's garbage, and they set up for a third one. I don't want it. I don't want it. Now, number 6 is a movie that I didn't really even want to see because of all the bad buzz I was hearing about it, the horrible things I was hearing about this movie. But I went in, and I did review it, and I think I fell asleep for a few minutes during the movie. It put me to sleep because it was so cliched, and that is The Darkness with Kevin Bacon. The movie is so cliched. This is one of the worst horror films that I've seen in a long time. Nothing happens in this movie. Absolutely nothing happens. A kid gets some rocks and he takes them home. Apparently the rocks are possessed or something, from what I could remember. All I could remember is the sink to turn on, or a door to close, or a light to turn on. And this literally just continues to happen for about an hour of the film. It's so boring, it's ridiculous. This is one of the worst theater experiences I had, because I just wanted it to end. And the way the movie decides to end, the climax of the film, it's a joke, and it's ridiculous, and it's the stupidest thing. And yeah, so that's The Darkness. So moving on to number 5. And again, this is another film that I didn't review because I didn't see it in the theater. I bought it, and I wasted my money on it. It was just a bad decision to even want to watch this movie, and that is
Gods of Egypt.
Gods of Egypt is a film that takes itself so seriously and is so convinced that you care about what's happening that almost every other scene they're introducing a new kind of story or introducing something new that you don't really care about. The plot's all over the place. The story's all over the place. The acting is subpar. The characters have nothing to do. They have nothing to do. Either run on a stupid green screen. It looks horrible. The CGI in this movie is ridiculously awful. When they change into their fighting form, I guess, it looks ridiculous. It looks like a computer graphics. PlayStation 1 graphics, PlayStation 2 graphics maybe. It looks ridiculous. It's horrible. This movie was a mess. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's not funny, and it's garbage. Okay, here we go. Number 4. This film is another one I bought and I watched by myself. The movie's about an hour and a half with the credits. I think without it maybe like 125. And I wanted to avoid this movie. I wasn't going to see it. I wasn't going to buy it. But after watching Chris Stuckman's review on this movie, it made me think to myself, you know what? Is it that bad? So I bought
Norm of the North.
And I watched it, and I was about 5 minutes into this movie, and I'm sitting there and going, oh God, what am I watching right now? I hope I'm at least a half hour in. I'm 5 minutes into the movie, no joke. Apparently, from what he said, kids don't enjoy the movie. He was in an auditorium with kids that wanted to leave. They were moving around. They were squirming. I was moving around. I was squirming watching this in my living room. I couldn't take it. It's the stupidest thing. The movie doesn't make any sense. The animation is horrible. Absolutely atrocious. Some of these characters are moving around. Their arms are moving in strange ways. Their legs are stretching. Like, it's really weird, and the stupid plot. They're trying to put homes, condos in the Arctic when you've got no internet service, it's freezing cold, there's nowhere to get your food, you're gonna die. And the polar bear has a phone, and he's listening to music in the Arctic, and he's twerking. Alright, so number 3, this is a movie that I hope they don't make anymore. If they do, they make money, I guess. They're profitable, but they're garbage.
The Purge election year.
I was actually angry after leaving the theater, after watching this movie. Nothing about this film is redeemable. Nothing. After thinking back on it, absolutely nothing. Sure, the performances by two of the characters, by the president, the female president, if that's even what she was, or Frank Grillo, I believe that's the actor's name, his performance, they're fine, but all they do is run around and jump into a car and let the car go, ambush, jump away, find some other people, leave, and then have some weird kind of orgy in a church at the end of the movie. It wasn't for me. This was horrible. It was ridiculous. No, I don't want my candy bar, and I'm not going to give you yours. Alright, so number 2 is another film that I didn't review on the channel. I bought on Blu-ray, and I was literally sweating after I watched this movie because how bad it is. Throughout the film, you notice there's certain things that don't make sense, that are stupid, and they're just downright ridiculous. And it really frustrated me so bad, I was producing sweat of how bad
9 Lives
actually is. I've seen the film, I watched it, and it's ridiculous. This movie doesn't know what it wants. It's what it wants to be. This is supposed to be a kids' film that has at the end of the movie a character fails at something that he's trying to do, but instead of just building his self-confidence, we see how strong of a character he is. He tries to commit suicide jumping off a building. In this kids' movie, this guy is trying to commit suicide, and he jumps off the building, and the cat jumps with him, and then all of a sudden they just randomly turn to face each other. Mr. Fuzzy Pants? The cat goes, and he goes, oh, that's right. When he pulls off the parachute thing, and he flies down to the ground. This is the stupidest thing. Why do you see a cat and then all of a sudden decide you're not going to commit suicide anymore? It doesn't make any sense. This movie doesn't make any sense. Christopher Walken is a cat whisperer? None of that is explained. How are we supposed to believe that he's a cat whisperer after Kevin Spacey leaves the place with the cat that he's buying for his daughter? He doesn't even like cats. He's a grouch. He's like Ebenezer Scrooge, a worse version of Ebenezer Scrooge. Christopher Walken looks at the cats and he's like, "Let's do this," or something. Let's do what? Kevin Spacey's character, after the spoilers, who gives a crap? You don't want to see this movie. It's not worth it. Don't give it your time. Don't give it your money. Kevin Spacey gets on the roof of the building. For some strange reason, he didn't decide to go home and put the cat at the house. He decided to go up to the building that they're constructing. He decides to go all the way to the top for some reason. I'll never know. He stands there. He's holding the cat in his hand. The thunder happens. He trips. He falls off the building. This guy don't even save him. He falls off the building, his foot hits something, he's holding the cat in the basket the whole time, and they fly through a window because his foot gets caught, and he kind of flings himself into a window with the cat. They land in there, camera goes black, and then all of a sudden, he's the cat. This movie is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Jennifer Gardner's in the movie. She's trying to leave him. She's trying to leave Kevin Spacey's character because he's so much of an ass. So she's trying to get a new home. None of that's capitalized at the end of the film either. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Most of the movie is business meetings. Boring business meetings. Or a horrible CGI cat slapstick comedy. They put the litter box right next to the food, which they don't even give the cat when they bring it in the house. Okay, they got the cat, they bring it home. All right, instead of putting it in its room by itself, just to get to know a room at first, this new environment. No, they let the cat out of the crate. It runs around the house. They don't even feed the thing. It's starving. It's thirsty. The cat drinks alcohol because it's thirsty, and then it pees on the floor. And then they decide to feed it in the morning and put the water in the food and the litter box right next to it. I'm done talking about this movie. Let's move on to number one. Alright, so the worst movie of the year. I didn't really review this movie at all. It's the film that I watched in the theater that honestly, if I said my worst theater experience was The Darkness, I take it back. This was my worst movie experience of the year. I saw this movie by myself. I had no one with me. There was maybe 5 other people in the theater. We were all spread out. It was a smaller auditorium, and this movie made me feel awkward at first. It made me feel extremely awkward. Even though I was sitting by myself, several times I wanted to get up and leave. And the movie, it tries to make sense, and it tries to convey a plot that actually could be compelling, but they throw all this wacky stuff in your face that kind of takes you out of it. And the end of this movie, the last maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes of this film was made by a basket case. The movie is called
The Neon Demon.
This movie, to me, I don't know if they were trying to be artsy. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish in this film. But why in God's name would you end this movie the way that you did? With cannibalism? Spoilers if you hadn't seen the film. Cut ahead to another 2 minutes. Or if you're not going to watch it, save yourself the time. Listen to what I'm about to say. So, Elle Fanning, she's the main actress in the film. And she gets killed in a swimming pool by Jenna Malone and 2 other people that are jealous of her. They kill her. They eat her. They take a shower together. Jenna Malone is laying on the floor naked and just pees everywhere. And then we cut to these girls that ate Elle Fanning, or at least one of them. We cut to them standing there at a photo shoot, and the girl starts gagging. She runs in, and she cuts the eyeball. Does she cut the eyeball out, or does she puke it out? I don't remember. But it comes out of her. She pukes out the eyeball. Which makes me think, if you ate this person, did you eat the eyeball whole? Didn't you not chew it? She gets the eyeball out. This other girl from the photo shoot walks in. She's saying, "Oh, please, please get her out of me." She dies. The girl that had walked in now goes, picks up the eyeball, and eats it. And that's the end of the film. I didn't leave the movie angry. I left the movie feeling extremely uncomfortable. I couldn't speak. I couldn't produce words for about a half hour after seeing this film. I can't anymore. The movie literally disturbed me. It is so hard for a film to do that, or anything to do that in that matter. This film is its own type of horrible. This movie is its own type of garbage, and it's its own type of strange. And it's a movie that I don't want to watch again, just because of its ridiculousness and a stupid kind of ending, and just a stupid film that really was a waste of my time. So that's it. That's it. That's my top 10 worst movies of 2016. Hallelujah. I'm done talking about those. Let's hope next year is better for film. If you guys are interested, I do have this digital HD code for Independence Day Resurgence if you're interested. If you want the movie. If you don't, I understand. But if you're interested in a free movie, all you have to do is, I'm going to tweet this video. So all you have to do is retweet my tweet. Go to Twitter and retweet my tweet. And you can follow me on Facebook and on Twitter. The links to those are in the description of this video. And you can also follow me on Snapchat at RyanKing72 and on Instagram at KingArises131. Guys, it's aside from these movies, it's been a great year for film. Go watch my top 10 best of the year. It's been a great year for film. And I hope next year is good or even better. But yeah, guys, if you've been subscribed, I just want to say, if you've been subscribed to the channel, if you just subscribed, if you've been subscribed for a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, I've been on the channel, or I've been on YouTube since August 2012, and the channel is growing. It's growing, and I realize that. And I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart that watch my videos. It means a lot to me. I love talking about film. Film means so much to me personally. That's why I do this. And I'm very grateful for all of you. So, yeah. that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching my top 10 least favorite films of 2016. And just thanks for watching in general. I'll see you next year. Over and out.